fellow yogis. This intro practice is just that. It's a practice where I'm going to be guiding you through just some very fundamental movements from hatha yoga. So if you are brand new, this might be really helpful for you just to familiarize yourself with some of the traditional movements, what it feels like to get into your body. And if you've been doing this for a long time, it'll be maybe a really nice review just to slow down, check in, and settle into your body. So if you're ready, we'll get right onto hands and knees in a tabletop position. So hands are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips. And starting just with a few what we call cat-cow. So as we inhale, we drop the belly, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. As you exhale, you're rounding the spine, tucking the chin, also tucking the pelvis as you press your hands into the mat to separate your shoulder blades. So combining breath with body movement, we inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, the pelvis. Maybe think about pressing into the hands and knees. Maybe think about pulling the belly button up and in. And doing just a few more of these at your own breath pace. If they're not already, maybe consider opening the hands nice and wide, pressing into the finger pads. And this is just a really great way to begin to warm up and loosen up the spine. It can sometimes be really nice first thing in the morning. And then we'll move into what I call a spinal undulation. So not quite a traditional yoga pose, but I love it, where we start by flexing the spine, just like we did before, and then instead of dropping the belly right into it, we might tilt and open the spine up to one side, then drop the belly, almost like you're trying to move your spine, like a jump rope, but real slow. Just moving into all the sticky places in your body. And maybe shifting in the other direction. And just feeling into your own body. Don't stress too hard about getting the movements exactly right. Now from here, before we go into any other movements, I'm going to invite you to externally rotate your wrists, opening up the hands. So bringing the fingers towards you, and then really gently back and forth, maybe shifting the weight side to side, trying to keep the fingers open. And we're just opening up the palms of the hand here, stretching into the forearms. Now if you're feeling any sharp pain, ease up, turn those hands back around. But if you're just feeling a little stress or discomfort, we want to breathe into that. In yoga, we can do a lot on the wrists. It can be a common place of overuse injuries, so we really want to take care of them as well. And part of that is by gently but firmly stretching them open. Flip those hands back over. From here, open up the knees a little more, bring the two big toes together, and then we're shifting the weight back onto the hips, allowing the chest and your head to come towards the floor. Maybe it doesn't get there, that's okay, but just shifting into a child's pose. And this is always a pose you can return back to if at any point you're moving through any of these movements and your body's going, hey, it's a little too much for me in this moment in time. And so as you breathe, just seeing, can you reach the fingers a little more forward, opening up the front of the body, allowing the hips and the chest to sink. This can be a great position to come into as relaxation practice after maybe a stressful event, a stressful day. Take one more breath here. On your next inhale, set up back in tabletop. So knees are below the hips, hands are below the shoulders. And I want you to externally rotate your hands out just a tiny, tiny bit, opening up the fingers, pressing into the finger pads, so take a bit of the weight off the wrist. And from here, we're going to move into downward facing dog, really common pose. Probably do this in just about every yoga class. So we're just going to slow down and move through it. You tuck the toes, and then on your exhale, you're pressing through the upper body, shifting the weight up and back. So hips are up in the air. We want to have a soft bend in the knees, allowing the heels to reach towards the mat. And we're pressing through our palms and our finger pads to lift ourselves up and back. One more small adjustment. We want to try to think about wrapping our elbows gently towards one another. This helps correct the posture, harnesses the muscles in the shoulders appropriately so that we're not just collapsing in on the joints. So trying just to stay in this pose, breathing here, and if at any point it feels too strenuous, take a moment, drop to the knees, maybe back into child's pose, or stay here with each inhale. See, can you bring the hips up and back a little more with each exhale? Soften into the knees and ankles. One more breath. And then, slowly, let's walk the feet to the front of the mat, keeping the palms planted as long as you can. Eventually, they'll definitely have to reach up and up. And we're just meeting here in a forward fold for a moment. Your fingertips might be like mine on the mat. If you don't have that mobility, feel free to gently rest them on the calves, the knees, whatever works for you. Or you can hang, just be gentle on the back. To move ourselves to standing slowly, as you keep breathing, we'll just keep the spine rounded, stacking one vertebrae on top of the next one, on top of the next, until eventually we come to standing. The head rests on top of the neck, the shoulders rest back. And so maybe just taking a moment, you can shut your eyes if you'd like to, and just sense into how your body's feeling before we move on. And know that pausing, that noticing, that's pretty integral as part of yoga practice. If you're using a mat, I'll invite you to step to the front of the mat. Maybe not, maybe you're just in your living room, that's fine. We're going to move through just traditional sun salutation. So again, this is really common that this gets bridged into most yoga classes to some degree. We're going to move through it really nice and slow for any of you out there who are like, oh my gosh, my body's never done this before. So as we inhale, we bring both arms up overhead, lifting the heart, squeezing the hips to stand nice and tall. As we exhale, we slowly come forward, soft bend in the knee, emptying the belly and the lungs of air. Fingertips are on the mat. As you inhale, you're taking a big step with the left foot to the back of the mat. Dropping the knee. As you inhale, you're lifting the heart, looking forward. Exhale, take your time with this. We're going to plant the palms, we're lifting the knee, we're stepping right back into downward facing dog, so something that we were holding before. From here, slowly and gently, we drop the knees to the mat. The chest comes between the palms. This part could be tricky. If you don't have the spine mobility, that's okay. We work on it. And then inhale, we come forward through what's called cobra. So in cobra, when tucking the toes, we're actually not pushing through the upper body. We're lifting through the back to raise the heart, squeezing the elbows in beside the ribs. From here, we tuck the toes, moving through tabletop. Exhale back into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you lean forward, bring the left foot back between the hands, dropping the right knee, fingertips on the mat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, the right foot steps forward to meet the left ear back in that fold. This time to come up, we're leading with the heart, so a straight spine. We inhale, we come right back up, standing, arms overhead. Exhale, palms meet at the chest. Take a moment, pause there. Just reflect on how that felt for you. Again, if you've been doing this a long time, that might have felt super familiar. If you're brand new, your brain might still be processing what just happened. Let's try the other side. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, we're stepping the right foot to the back of the mat. This time we drop the knee. Inhale, look forward, lift the chest. Exhale, we plant the palms, lift that right knee, and then step back into downward facing dog as you exhale. From here, gently drop the knees, the chest, the chin to the mat. Inhale, come forward into cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, tuck the toes, come through tabletop, back into downward facing dog. And then inhale, leading with the right foot this time. It comes forward, planting between the hands. Drop the left knee, lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right ear in that fold. Inhale, leading with the heart. We come all the way up. Exhale, palms come back to the chest. Feel free to drop the arms. Again, just taking a moment to sense into your body, noticing how that felt. The lovely thing about a video is that you can pause it, you can rewind it, you can try it again. So if that felt really out of sorts for you, know that you can always come back to it, right now, or at another time in the future. Check in and see what feels right for you. From here, we're just moving onto a pose called Warrior Two. Again, really commonly used in many, many yoga practices. So from the front of your mat, or your living room, wherever you're at, you're gonna step the left foot out and back, so rotating it out to 90 degrees. If you're on a mat, the heel, rather the edge of your foot, is gonna be in line with that mat. And then we're bending to about 90 degrees in the right knee. From here, just a little posture check. We want to make sure that the right heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. Okay. And then I'm also going to invite you to look over your right knee. So your right knee should be in line with your right foot. If it's not, adjust it, maybe by squeezing the hips to open it up a little. That's commonly what's going on, not for everyone though. From this position, we open the arms up. So the right arm is forward, we're looking over the right fingertips. The left arm is back. Just breathing here. And notice how open the front of the body is in this position. So as we reach, we're squeezing the shoulder blades. I'll invite you to take a moment and check if you're hiking up the muscles in your neck and try to relax those down. And then think about pressing into your feet. So the lower body's not going to move, but press into your feet, particularly that outer edge of the left foot. That helps fire the posterior chain muscles rather than having them kind of relax and collapse in. Okay. We're going to transition to the other side. So Relax your arms if you need to, if they're getting tired. If not, keep them out. Straighten the right knee. Pivot the foot inward. So now the feet are parallel for just a moment. And then we're going to rotate that left foot out, bending that knee. Now we're in Warrior Two on the other side. So again, just those form checks. Left heel should be in line with the middle of the arch of the back right foot. Checking that the knee and foot are in line with one another, attempting to have roughly a 90-degree bend in your knee. Again, your form might be a little different than mine, that's okay. Steadying the breath, pressing into the outer edge, the blade of that back right foot. And breathe. On your next inhale, straighten the left foot, pivot it inward, pivot the right foot to the front of the mat, and then just find your way back up to the front of your mat, or again, whatever space you are in. Take a moment, sense into your body. We'll do one more standing pose. Again, another common one that's used in a lot of practices. So we'll step that left foot back again, but this time we're setting up for what's called triangle pose. So the main difference, that right knee is not going to bend. We're bringing the arms up and down. Take an inhale. And then on the exhale, we're shifting the weight into that back left hip. We're opening up the body to the side. And we're tilting. So the legs are straight. We have the right arm reaching down towards the right leg. Left arm's up in the air. And so your right fingertips, maybe they're on the knee, maybe they're on the shin, maybe they're on the foot, maybe we're reaching towards the floor. You find the version that works for your body. What we want to avoid is collapsing down in, right? So we're not planting all of our body weight on the leg. We're using the muscles in our core to keep our chest open and to keep our core lifted. I want you to focus on pressing into that back left outer blade of the foot again. And breathe. On your next inhale, use the muscles of the core to bring yourself back up. And just like we did before, we're going to pivot the right foot in, pivot the left foot to face the back of the mat, let the arms come down. If they're getting tired, come into position. Shifting the weight into the right hip. We're opening the chest, tilting over. So the left fingertips will meet maybe the knee, maybe the shin, maybe the foot. Maybe you grab a big toe, maybe you reach towards the floor. And don't be surprised if it feels quite different on one side than the other. Most of us, just through daily living, have some sort of muscle imbalance going on. Regular yoga practice can be a really great way of identifying some of that and working with it. But know that it's really human to have one side that's tighter, one side that's stronger. One more breath here. Using the muscles of the core, inhale, come back up. Pivot the feet. Right foot tilts forward. And then the left foot just steps forward to move the right. We'll take a small transition to come down into just two really straightforward core exercises that we use in yoga. And we'll wrap it up with relaxation. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold. From here, plant the palms and we're just stepping back first into that tabletop position. So nice and gentle to come down. Okay. So two versions of plank. The more gentle one, right? So if you're brand new to it, you might want to try this one first. All you're doing is walking the knees back, okay? And then leaning the weight over your palms. So the chest is still over the shoulder. Okay. And And so doing this, we're activating our core muscles a little bit. What we want to avoid is, letting it all sink down. Okay? If we want to come into traditional plank, we just tuck the toes, we lift those hips up. And you can always play between these two stances, depending on where you're at today. And now the body's not going to move, but I want you to think about pulling your wrists in the direction of your feet, and your feet in the direction of your wrists. And that helps us harness those muscles all along the abdominal wall. Okay? So breathing here, again, dropping to your knees if at any point you need to. 2 more breaths. Pressing into the mat. And then on your next exhale, gently drop the knees to the mat if they're not there. Maybe walk them to the front of the mat, maybe cross those ankles. We're just coming down onto your back. So as we lay on the back, we want to have the knees at roughly 90 degrees. To help set up for this, maybe we reach the fingertips towards those heels, but if your anatomy doesn't get you there, that's just your anatomy, that's okay. On the inhale, planting the palms, you're squeezing your hips, pressing your feet into the mat to lift up into a bridge pose. Exhale, slowly, let it come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, squeeze, come on up. So just combining breath with body movement. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come back down. And then inhale, come on up. And I'm going to invite you to hold it here if that feels okay. And with each inhale, just see, can I squeeze and get my hips a little bit higher? Maybe moving past your edge, just a little bit past what your comfortable range of motion is, as long as there's no pain. But this is how we can sometimes expand range of motion. And so really common in this position that you may feel some stretching through the hip. Okay? So we're working the posterior chain, which is what most of us need to do. Helps build strength, corrective for posture, helps reduce back pain, but a lot of the time we'll notice that when we strengthen back here, we get a stretch through the front. And if you're not feeling that and it's not relevant to you, that's okay. On your next exhale, slowly come back down. Extend the legs out. Turn the palms up. And then just shifting into resting pose, Shavasana. So this is traditionally how we end all classes. Allowing the body to really settle into the mat. If you are someone who has a hard time relaxing, what I want to suggest to you is that that's not inherent. Doesn't have to be a piece of one's identity, and that just like other skills, playing an instrument, learning a language, with practice we can support our nervous system in learning how to more easily relax. So I invite you to think about relaxation practice as just that, a practice, a skill that can be developed if that's a place of challenge for you. And so I encourage you to stay here as long as you like. But I'm going to end the video just by thanking you for checking out what we do here. And I hope that there was something you could take away from this. Maybe it's something new, maybe it's something familiar. something that helped you connect with your body.